Previously on the Goblin Market, the crew survived a hit in the baths and killed all the assassins but one, a goblin named Barn, who's now their prisoner. He was apparently hired and controlled by Captain Loga of the Merchant Mercantile. The frog H is dead, and Zagat thinks it's time to talk with her higher-ups. Now it's time to find out what the hell is going on in the Goblin Market. Stalwart Josie controls the Development Division jail where an original rots away. Zagat tells the crew that she really only trusts two people, Solicitor General Hyde and Stalwart Hicksaw, who's been warning the goblins about the originals for as long as Zagat has been alive. As they make their way through the abandoned market to go to Hyde's command tent, Barn stops them and announces that this is the tent where he met with Captain Loga. Let's find out what the fuck is going on in the Goblin Market.
Yeah. Let's do that.
River they tread, only to be swept away.
Morning and evening you may hear the cry, candies and berries and baubles to try, sweet to the tongue and sound to the eye, but heed words of caution when you then decide to come by, come by, get, come by, come by, get, come by, come by, get.
Just beware the Goblin Market.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. You're listening to the Goblin Market on the Dungeon Dads Network. As always, I'm your DM, Tom Blaylock, and I'm joined today by Tim Carr, who is playing Eabis, the goblin with no spells and no nothing else.
The tiefling goblin with very limited resources, but a fair amount of hit points.
You survived that, though.
And no clothes.
No clothes. Yeah, that's like naked as the day that you were made. Actually, I think we can hand wave that you put some stuff on your way to
maybe there were some robes or something in there that we're wearing.
Something. I mean, you're not wearing armor.
Yeah.
But
I got a shield. I grabbed my shield. I don't know. You tell me if I don't. I've traveled with clothes on my character sheet.
You're totally kitted out for the Goblin Market, right? So you've got your studded leather or whatever it is that you wear. You got your various things that are you're as ready for battle as you can possibly be. How's that?
I mean, I have to go figure out what kind of armor I can wear. I don't know what Kybers can wear.
No, but
you guys have armor?
I've got a white shirt on.
There you go. Okay. Everybody's got white shirts on. How's that? John Watson playing Dinfa, the human goblin. What's up, John?
Hey, what's up, man? That was I had a blast on that fight. I was swinging away.
Swung that butt end around a lot. I love that bonus butt end.
That was doing it.
Just wait till you see him do it with the staff.
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing.
Brings a whole new meaning to that role, doesn't it?
Indeed.
Butt naked in the baths with the butt in.
With the butt in, baby.
That's that bonus. That's that bonus butt in. Sam Frank playing the botanist of Charnak. What's up, Sam?
Some might say the tiniest butt of all.
The tiniest little one, yeah. So, you guys, you have this prisoner, and I mean, he is confused at why you'd be bringing him into this tent. This, as you know, is the command tent. This is where you have given your briefings in the past. But he didn't know that. He's not from your mercantile. So he tells you that Captain Loga, this is where he's been meeting Captain Loga. And Zagat says, "What do you mean? Captain Loga is not in the contract enforcement mercantile." Yes, but this is where he's been. And you're sure? Yes. It is just inside. It's a big round room with maps and a stage in the middle, and this is it.
Does that sound right?
I mean, that is this room. You've been here 1,000 times. Do you want to go in?
Like this?
What does Loga look like? Well, she is so tall. She is a half elf. She is, and then Zagat stops her and says, "Shut your mouth, boys, over here. Fuck, we have to do something with him."
What is it? What?
And she gets in close and she says, "I think he's speaking of Josie."
Josie has another name?
She's the only half elf that I know that has ever been in the command tent that I can think of. We have no Kybers who are half elves.
Have you ever met someone from another guild?
I mean, yes, I've met people from you know I try to get,
but someone at Josie's level.
No, never.
You've never
not
seen
from another
them.
guild, not from another mercantile.
Do you think Josie is actually pulling the strings for multiple mercantiles?
I mean, a captain would be very high up. I do not know exactly what their leadership structure is, but I can't. It can't be lower than me at this place.
That's the question. That the rank is not really relevant. It is a question of is Josie playing multiple sides?
Anything is possible. I do not trust that bitch.
Well, how do we get answers?
We have to speak with Hyde.
And how do we get
worried
to Hyde?
if she sees if she is this Loga and she sees this prisoner, then she'll know that we know.
Well, then we can't go in with the prisoner.
I agree.
But how else will we know that she is Loga? Unless
I don't know.
The prisoner calls her Loga.
Does anyone... Charnak, can you show him a picture of Josie?
Yes, I believe I can put that together. I minor illusion a rough 3-dimensional portrait of Josie.
Yes, so you know, Loga. That's her. That's Loga.
I see.
All right, at least we know that. Can we put this guy back in the bathhouse? Lock him in the room.
Zagat looks around and says, "I don't think that's permanent enough."
I didn't grab any. No, we don't. Not out here. We can't do anything out here.
Okay, listen. Hyde knows your mission. He knows what you've been up to. Just don't engage with Josie if she's in there. Do you remember my training realm? The place I took you when
Yes,
you
the
met
jungle
Stag?
room. Yes.
I'll be there. You remember how to get into my room?
Yes, I remember.
Very well. I will go. I will take this prisoner there. You meet me there after you speak with either Hicksaw or Hyde, whoever's in there.
All right.
Now, just remember, Hicksaw, if he is there, is the oldest goblin in the market. He's the only one who remembers the originals. And she gives you Dinfa, she gives you like a hard stare in your eyes, and she says, "Dinfa. He's on his 12th or 13th body. He's how I knew how to help H occupy the frog."
So you trust him?
I trust him. He has been our only friend in the court for years. He is friends with Hyde. I trust him.
Do you trust him enough to come to your
No, just you.
Okay.
None of them can know about that place.
Okay.
Dinfa the stag lives there. The stag. The stag.
Saget, how did you get this room?
It's take me too long to explain. You talk to Hyde. Come see me.
Okay.
All right. And
I began walking toward the place.
all right. And she grabs the prisoner Barn and she says, you're not going to meet Tarek today. My friends want to keep you alive, and that's the only reason I will keep you alive. You have possibly more information for us. Oh, okay. And so they head off, and you're at the command tent.
Fuck. I don't like doing this without Zagat, but we have no choice.
We need answers.
Charnak is just like stretching. Like limbering up his legs, getting ready to run, warming up a little bit.
All right.
We need to be prepared to make a speedy exit.
I agree. First sign of trouble.
You don't want to pull a hammy.
Charnak, make sure we do not get closed in. And I start...
Sure.
I start walking in.
Okay. So,
joining.
You guys going in, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm following a few steps behind.
So the last time you were in this room, it was full of Kybers, and you were all handing out assignments and giving the briefing to your stall. And as you walk in now, this place has clearly become a refuge and a triage center. So there are 3 clerics' beds set up, sort of like hospital beds set up in here. There's blood on the ground. The stage and the maps that they've been moved or sort of left. They're just the room has been stripped of what it once was, and when you get in there, there's a few people you don't recognize who are tending an injured goblin, and Dinfa, you're tall enough, and I guess Eabis, you're also tall enough. You're over 5 foot tall, right?
Yeah.
So you're sort of tall enough that you can see that the goblin that they are fussing over is Judge Skullbreak, and you do not see Hyde or Hicksaw or Josie in the tent.
Can I go over to Skullbreak?
Yeah.
I'm standing by the door to the tent.
Okay. All right.
What does...
if there's something I can stand on to see further, then I will grab it.
You can grab one of the
box.
There's a chair. There's a couple of chairs that are left over from when this was a briefing room, so you could grab a chair. It's just kind of picked over. The whole room looks sort of like stripped. But
okay, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to the judge?
And Skullbreak opens up his eyes and looks up and goes, Dinfa, how's your mission? Have you gotten that sweet pink under control?
Yes, went remarkably well. What happened?
Good. Well, we were set upon. Killed a lot of them, but the order's gone away. We don't have much left in here.
You were set upon by who?
I don't know, man. Assassins. We killed 20 at least, and he points toward the back where the scat is, the sort of planning room, and he says, "The hide's in there. He's got 2 guards with him.
Okay.
There's a lot of dead Kybers."
While I'm talking to him and making conversation, I want to see if anyone is watching me talk to the judge.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to do a perception check. 22.
Well, obviously, the 3 people who were tending to his wounds, you know, that he's talking to you is, I mean, obviously, they're not like freaked out that he's talking because he is, you know, they know that he can talk, but one of them that is sort of wrapping, or she's actually changing a bandage on his leg that has been sliced open. With a 22 perception, you notice that she is fearful. I think you're going to have to roll an insight check if you want more than that.
Okay.
From her.
This won't be as good. 4.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to know if she's afraid of you, the judge, or something else in the room. But she is definitely unmoored. And you saw it as soon as she noticed you coming in the room.
Okay. I'm going to look at her and I'm going to say, "How does it look?"
"Oh, very bad." "Oh, it's going to be fine." And she says, No, this wound is from a psychic blade. I've not seen a psychic blade draw blood before. It's unlike anything I've seen before." Judge. "Oh, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Those mercantile assassins, they don't know what they're dealing with. We'll get them good."
So I've seen psychic blade damage. Can I look at this and tell that there's a difference, or should I make another perception check or medicine check or something?
Maybe you can do a medicine check. And actually, as she's saying this, all 3 of you can kind of like, I mean, it's interesting that she has said this. So, in fact, if you want to tell me, so John, you're looking at that wound. If you guys want to tell me if you're looking at something else or what, just let me know.
I'm watching the room.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm watching Dinfa and scanning the proximity near him with most of my attention on the conversation he's having.
Okay.
I got a nat 1 on that medicine check.
Okay.
So that's a 3. Mine is a 22.
Mine's
right.
20. We're some
So-
perceptive guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And ladies.
I'll do the medicine check first. There is blood. It's totally congealed, and the wound is entirely black. You have rack your brain. You've never seen anything like this.
Wow.
And Sam, tell me what Charnak was looking out for.
Watching the room for any signs of danger or anything unusual. given the
Okay, and then
circumstances.
Tim, what was Eabis looking for?
Well, I'm watching Dinfa's back, but I'm also basically watching the conversation with Skullbreak and what the medic is doing, and just kind of second set of ears and eyes on what he's seeing and hearing.
So I will just say that this medic that he has like sort of trained his eyes on, you see that she sort of reveals the wound that he is starting to sort of examine, and you see that her hand goes down into her robes when he's doing that.
Wait, sorry. The pronouns got me confused. Whose hands go where?
The medic, like that was changing changing the bandages.
Yeah.
She, while Dinfa is examining the wound,
Got
you
it.
see that her hand kind of goes into her robes.
It's one of
and
those
that
weird
seems
people
kinda
who
weird.
gets turned on by like medical stuff.
It could be. It could be that. It could be. What is that called? There's a word for that. I'll think of it. I'll think of it before the end of the episode.
We'll all be the richer for it.
I'm gonna keep my eye on.
Okay. I think they might be called woundies in Australian, but I don't remember exactly.
Woundies in
Woundies.
Australia.
And Sam, Charnak was sort of like looking around the whole room.
Mhm.
You see the flap sort of barely open in the K-Scat room, which is sort of just off this main room, which is like it's a small office, a small planning office for high up officers. And you see Solicitor General Hyde at the back of the room, and he is tied up.
Hmm.
You just mean like he's busy, right?
No. I mean, he's in a chair.
Please tell us he's
And
just
his-
busy.
He's in a chair, and his hands are behind his back.
I want to do one other thing before I spring into heroic action here, which is rack my memory for any sort of plants, herbal remedies that might be good for the kind of wounds that the judge
Yeah.
has.
Okay.
Nature, medicine.
Yeah, nature or medicine, I think. Up to you. You probably have advantage on nature. Okay.
That's a 24 nature check.
So that you can let that stand. That's plenty. The reason why it's hard to see to like the reason why you haven't seen this kind of a wound before is because give me a straight intelligence check.
14.
It's because there's a wound under the illusion of the wound.
Mm.
And the two things on top of each other are causing it to look weird. And you're now able to kind of see through. And this is not Judge Skullbreak. This is Josie.
How far away from this am I?
30 feet.
Okay. I am going to cast an additional illusion on top of the illusion. But it will be a ridiculous illusion that prompts people to investigate further.
Okay. All right.
So, like near the wound, like a pustule forms, grows bigger and bigger, and then it pops, and then there's a little guy inside, and he says, "We live here now. Leave us alone." No, I can't do that with minor illusion, right? It's got to be
Yeah,
static.
That
illusions.
seems pretty major.
Yeah,
to me.
So
Yeah.
So John, what you see is a static image of a pustule on this wound.
But it's
And
like
then
bright purple.
And then you see a new pustule that seems to have broken open. It's very what's the word I'm looking for here? Ham-handed.
Sort of
illusion.
pixelated.
Yeah. And then you see a small gnome-looking person, like with his head out of the pustule that's on there. Why don't you give me an intelligence check?
Oh boy. 4.
No, you have advantage because you're touching this person.
3.
So
Wow.
it's super,
I thought the Kybers were supposed to be smart.
it's super weird. It's super, super, super weird. Yeah, like you're just like so confused. You've never seen anything like this before.
Well, it seems ridiculous, and I know what minor illusion looks like, so I'm gonna look at it.
Clearly, someone is minor illusioning.
I'm gonna look
the
back
gnome.
I'm gonna look back at Charnak
Okay.
with a confused expression on my face.
And I am looking anywhere but at him. I'm like, who could be doing this?
And I'm gonna say, okay, I know that this is his trickery. This is weird.
Okay.
And the lady's acting weird. This wound is strange. Everything is strange. I'm gonna make another perception check at it's not General Hyde. Who am I looking at? Skullbreak.
Skullbreak. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to perceive Skullbreak and see what in the heck is going on right now. 21.
Yeah, I mean Skullbreak looks messed up.
Okay.
And is seems to be losing patience with you.
Charnak takes a few deep breaths, gathers his courage, steps outside the tent, casts disguise self, and Barn the Goblin strides in and heads directly for the room in the back as though he is supposed to go there.
Okay. So John, you and Eabis see Barn the Goblin.
But we see
walking
Charnak step
in.
out first.
You do see Charnak step out first.
Okay.
And you don't
Guys,
see
at least have your
Zagat.
head on a swivel that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's heading back to the back room.
Too bad we haven't thought of a secret like throat clear or something that we can do that would be completely inconspicuous to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he's
You know what I'm saying?
And then the minor illusion on the judge's body turns into writing that says, "I think you should examine this more closely."
How would I see through an illusion?
It's an intelligence check. You can touch the skin.
I'm
and
going
then
to
it's
see
like
that.
you
I'm
have
gonna see that.
advantage. Yeah.
And then do
All
a
right.
check.
I was going to say, Eabis gets a crack at this too, right?
Yes, of course. No, it's a check. It's an intelligence check.
Oh, not a save. Well,
I don't think it probably doesn't change anything. Though,
no, it's a
does it?
+2 still. I mean, if you only let me roll it again, I'll roll it again.
No,
Well, you had
you're not
advantage,
touching it. You're not touching it.
Oh, do I have an advantage, or is that just Dinfa?
If you want to touch the leg, then
I'm not
you
going to walk
can-
up and touch. That seems weird.
Yeah, so that would be, and that would you would have an advantage on
So,
that.
So, listeners,
4,
I
a
got
3,
a
and a
5.
5.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And Judge Skullbreak.
These are the
looks
people
up.
I risk my life for.
Judge Skullbreak looks up and sees that goblin walking across the room, and sort of sits up and says, "Excuse me, would you mind? I have some matters to attend to in the case, Cat."
I'm gonna say, no. You need to lay down. This wound looks serious. I'm gonna touch him on the shoulder and try to put him back. And
Okay.
hopefully, touching him, I can get another intelligence save.
Yeah, you can get an advantage on your intelligence check. You know what's going on. It's hard to see through the damn thing.
15.
Yeah. So you now see like it's Josie who's sitting here. You also see that Josie has a massive gash on her
Gross,
leg,
Tom.
on her leg that looks like she was hit hard with a blunt instrument
Mm-hmm.
that has like caused her skin in multiple places where it was hit to sort of come apart and bleed there. You also see that dangling from her belt is a goblin wand that you did not see before.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to take the wand and I'm going to step back.
You're going to grab the wand?
Yeah.
Okay. And she touches it and says, "What are you doing? Give me my wand back."
What is happening? What are you doing?
Obviously, I am trying to protect myself.
From what?
From Solicitor General Hyde. He has turned against us.
All right, do I have the wand?
You have the wand.
I will be the judge of that.
And I back away and I follow. I keep the wand pointed at Josie, and I look at Eabis, and I point my head toward the back room, and I follow Charnak to the back room.
Okay, so you're doing that. Eabis, what are you going to do?
I'm going to see what Dinfa has done, and then I think I'm going to stick with Dinfa. Do I see through the illusion, or the voice changed for Josie?
The voice changed, and it's Josie speaking, but you still
I still see Skullbreak.
Skullbreak, yeah.
And have I seen anything else come out of the medic's pocket?
So the medic definitely has a dagger. In there, that's definitely not a. It's not a scalpel. It's not a knife. It's definitely a dagger.
It's not a medical tool. It's a
war
weapon.
machine. Yeah, yeah.
Shit. Are there any other like doors or flaps on this tent aside from where?
No, it's out the front door, the front flap, or into another flap that leads to the K-Scat, the command room.
And what's lighting the room?
It's magical light.
Got it. Okay.
There are sort of like a few small sconces with kind of the equivalent of a dancing lights spell, sort of.
Yeah.
But it's sort of permanent.
Right. Okay.
It's low light for sure in here.
Okay. I'm going to keep an eye on that medic and walk, sort of skirt around the medic's reach and follow Dinfa, and catch up and say, "Dinfa, that medic had a blade, not a medical blade. We must watch our backs in here." Who was that? Was that Josie?
That is Josie. I do not know what's happening. She says that Hyde has turned against us.
Well, if you see which side she is on, perhaps he has not turned anywhere. But he is now on the wrong side of Josie's alliance.
Which may very well be where we are.
Yes, we have fucked up already.
And Charnak, what are you doing?
I make it to the back room.
Yep.
So I throw open the flap and stride in. What do I see?
Okay, so as soon as you get in there, you see
confidence. I'm displaying confidence.
You see a goblin sitting, doing a sort of a squat that's sort of like sitting outside of the 7-Eleven squat, eating, smoking your cigarette kind of thing, like just sort of down. He is just squatting in the corner of this room. There's 2 people in chairs now that you can see that are tied up in this room. You see Solicitor General Hyde, and you see stalwart Hicksaw, who is, of the Merchant Court. And as soon as you enter the room, you hear Josie call out and say, "Barn, you have failed. Solve the problem now."
I look at this is an ethnically goblin.
Yes, and
I go, "Captain Lago needs your assistance immediately. Let's go."
I don't know if the mispronunciation was intentional or not. I don't know what to do with
it. And the goblin stands up and he goes, "Brother, you're well. Very good."
"Yes, Tarek, it has been a long day. Please see what she needs."
"She is so badly injured. she's barely hanging on. It was all we could do to subdue these two here. And Hicksaw looks up and says, You will both burn by the stag for this. And you, traitor Josie, Zagat will burn you to the ground. Stag willing. And as soon as he sees Dinfa and Eabis, Hicksaw looks up and goes, Kill them all.
All right, so we walk in, and I turn the wand on Tarek.
Yeah, Tarek just kind of looks at you, and he's what are you gonna do with that?
And I shake it to try and do something.
Yeah, nothing. and we are in initiative.
We're initiative. I was about to say, while they're facing each other, I'm going to sidle around towards Hicksaw and hide.
Okay.
All right, initiative.
Yep.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, again. Lord.
Okay.
See if I can roll a 0 this time. Let's go.
9.
I think you got this.
7.
Okay.
6.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's see what I'm getting. I haven't seen what I'm getting yet. Okay, here we go. So, okay. So Tarek is going to grab at the wand and is going to try and wrestle the wand out of your hand. So we're going to have a contested athletics check.
Damn it.
You can use acrobatics if that's better for you.
It is not.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
4.
All right. So Tarek reaches over, grabs the wand, and like turns his body with you. So you're still holding onto the wand, but now he's got your arm, and he's sort of grappled you, and he has the wand in his hand. So he's sort of like pulled you through. So your face is up against his back. And it's your turn.
Okay. He grabs me. He grabs the wand. I grab my quarterstaff with one hand, and I try to whack him with it.
Okay.
8.
That's a miss.
It's okay. Here comes the butt end.
Well, except that he's got my arm, Tom said, so I don't know if I can.
Oh.
You can try to bash him with the butt, and maybe you can try to strike him on this foot
Maybe
or something.
I kind of whack with my wrist. I turn my wrist, and then I butt end it.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, you got it.
I like the foot stomp move.
Yeah,
Just,
you like
smash a
hit him
toe.
with his
Yeah.
smash a toe with it.
Here we go. 5 bludgeoning.
Okay.
Fuck that toe.
I know that's
enough to
messed
crack a
up.
toe.
Crack that thing. Yeah, that's right.
And Hicksaw cries out and he says, "Free me! Free me! Free me! Kill the others!" And it is you, Eabis.
So they're tied up. What are they? Are they in like wooden chairs or
They're
they
in wooden chairs, yeah.
Oh,
and there's a candle on the table in this room.
Ooh.
The K-Scat table is lit by candles.
Humanoid flesh is a fuel source, right?
It totally is.
Clothing certainly is. They don't know how to treat that stuff with anti-flammy, whatever they do. Inflammable.
Anti-flammy.
Whatever the hell. I can't. My brain is not working.
Anti-flammy.
Right.
Listen.
Anti-flammable.
You better get some flammy.
I don't know.
I'm worried about the anti-flammy, but not as much as I am the flammy.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's so funny to me. But it is.
How far is Tarek from said candles?
He is, so they're like at the door, so probably 5 feet, 10 feet
Okay.
from him.
So my instinct is actually to mace the chair and see if I can break it so that they can move around.
Smart. I mean, they're tied up, so
Right, but like if you break the legs, like they'll crash and the chair will
Sure.
break, right?
Yeah, that's probably
presumably,
true. Yeah.
and then they can stand up or kick, or they might still have to untie their hands, but they could do it.
Yeah.
Or I guess I could untie their hands.
Totally untie their hands. That would be your action, and you would get it done.
Yeah,
it does
I
not
think-
look like a serious knot.
Yeah. I will untie Hacksaw first.
Okay. All right. And he quickly gets up, slams the chair down, and is now holding a piece of chair as a improvised weapon. Okay. Charnak.
Is there another way out of this room besides going back through the main room?
There is not. This is a demiplane. Don't forget that
Right.
just looks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
tent. So yes, there's lots of ways out, but you don't know what they are. You know only the main front door out.
Well, I was going to try something tricky, but I'm absolutely certain it wouldn't work. So Charnak releases his disguised self and says, "Ha! It was a grand illusion," and goes over and unties Hyde. And
Okay.
says, we have a safe place we can get to, but we will have to go through the main room.
Very well. Let's kill the interloper.
Can you lead the wedge?
Yes. And he breaks a chair
Good.
and he grabs a
And
club.
Charnak retreats to the back. Yeah.
Grabs a club and joins. Okay. And then in the main room, so Eabis, you kind of went in, the nurse like moves in. So who is where are all of you? So we've got,
I mean, Eabis and Charnak are behind.
I have as many
Hacksaw.
people between me and the door as possible.
so
Yeah.
that's just okay. So at the
But
door,
I do see her come in and say, "Hello, nurse."
yeah. So you've got, so actually
So we have Hyde and Hicksaw, not Hacksaw. Hicksaw.
they're kind of they've just broken their chairs, so they're in the room. It's actually Dinfa who's struggling with Tarek, who is closest to the door. So Dinfa, you see the nurse come through with her robe, and she immediately tries to stick you with her knife.
Shit.
It's a good thing you knew what was coming.
Yeah, and and this is 9
Miss.
and 18.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And let me roll this. This is a D4, not a D6 here. Ooh, that is 6 damage.
Ow. Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so she sticks you right in the belly
Ah!
with this
Somebody
knife.
gets off me!
It pulls it out like she's going to jam it back in.
Ugh.
And
She's not one of those
Hicksaw.
stick it in and leave it in types.
she's not. She's going to stick it in as many times as she can. That's the secret of knife fighting. As many sticks as you can possibly get in there. And then Hicksaw swings at what's his face, Tarek, who's sort of immobilized as he's fighting over the wand.
Not him!
Hits-
The nurse! The nurse!
Too late. He hits him, and he does 5 damage. And this guy, you can just feel he's dead. You can feel you're now, his arm that's sort of wrapped into your arm is like you're basically holding him up as he begins to like let go of the wand and slump to the ground. And And then the other
Do
dude.
these wands need to be attuned to?
Yes, for sure. And you have to know what you're dealing with these wands too.
Okay.
And
You just shake them real good. Something will happen.
I think I'm still holding one.
And Solicitor General
Secretly.
Hyde, yeah,
that
Solicitor
does
General
poisonous
Hyde
gases.
swings his club, hits, swings his club again, hits, and 6, 8. That's 14 on the nurse. Okay. And you hear a commotion out in the command tent, and you hear someone saying, Captain Loga, get up, let's go. Yes, okay, let's go. All right, and it's top of the order. It is Tarek's dead. Dinfa, it's you.
Is the nurse dead?
Nurse is not dead.
All
Nurse is in front of you with her dagger.
I'm gonna flip the dead body around and put it in between her and me.
Like a shield.
Yeah. Meat shield.
Okay.
Hopefully, give me half cover, and I'm gonna try to beat her in the face.
Okay.
Fucking goblin. 13.
Hey now.
Yeah. Come on.
I know we're fighting for our lives, but there's no call for that.
That is a miss.
Shit. All right.
And when you slice, you realize when you hit with your quarterstaff,
Mhm.
you realize that you hit chain shirt underneath the nurse's robe.
All right. I go for a toes.
All right.
20.
Yep. That's it.
That bonus butt end.
It's
That
doing
bonus
it.
button
It is doing it.
fucking powerful.
3 bludgeoning.
Okay. And she goes, "Ow!" and she says, "Loga, I'm coming. All right. And it's you, Eabis.
Can I reach the candle?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to grab the candle and then control the flame right onto the nurse.
Okay. Yeah, her robes are definitely flammable. So what's the damage on this? Is this a
It's a cantrip. It doesn't really say.
So let's do
What's bonfire, right? It's like,
yeah, let's do the base of the bonfire. So let's give her a D8 of damage here.
all right,
As her robes go up in flame.
3. Not enough.
Okay.
It's up to you, Charnak.
And then, is there room to get around?
The fight is now in the doorway of this in the thing. So you could get to the flaps, but Dinfa's definitely kind of blocking it with a dead goblin and is fighting with this nurse here. And the two generals, Hicksaw and Hyde, are sort of in there as well.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna try to run through to keep an eye on Loga and try to holler out the door, but
Yeah. Okay. It's you, Dinfa. Oh no, sorry. It's Charnak. Sorry.
Charnak runs up to the nurse. They're like right by the door to the tent flap.
Right by the door. Yeah.
And I look her dead in her orbital sockets. And I cast my second to last disguise self. And turn myself into the nurse.
Ooh.
And I run out the door, yelling, "Captain, I'm coming! I'm coming!"
Yeah. Okay. And you see the captain and the 2 nurses. They're moving toward the side of this tent of the command center, and there is a map that is sort of rolled up on the ground in the corner, and the 2 nurses that are still there and Loga touch the map and they say, "Come, come, we return. Come now, run." And you could make it to them.
I run towards them and I trip and fall on the ground. And I say, "Please, please don't leave without me."
And Loga looks at you and says, "You've been loyal. Kill yourself. Don't answer any questions." And they blink out. And we are...
The map is still there on the
map is still there on the ground, yes.
Okay. I'm going to grab that.
Okay.
But I mean, I assume I have to stand up and,
You have to stand up and stuff, but it is the nurse's turn. And she sees that you all are here. She's heard this thing happen. She heard her master say what she said. She puts her knife to her neck and slices.
See, I did get her after all.
And
that's some non-combat combat.
That is
and she falls down, and Hicksaw and Hyde both get up. Now Hicksaw looks like a very young goblin. Like you've seen him only in passing at this, to this point before. It makes sense now that he is this like sort of powerful old goblin from what Zagat said about this being his 12th body he's been in. And you kind of have a decent idea what that means. And then Solicitor General Hyde is a large half orc with a very long chin beard but no mustache, and a sort of ponytail that's sort of a high knot ponytail on his head that it hangs down almost to his ass. And he looks over, and you now see that both of these guys are just beaten to hell, but they have these sort of all the hallmarks of psychic damage. Like their eyes are blackened. They just look exhausted, but you don't see any bruises on them. They just look like they are. They have all the hallmarks of being psychically assaulted, basically. Boys and Eabis, thank you. How'd you know where we were? How'd you get in here?
Well, we have Barn.
Oh, that's the one that was Tarek's brother.
Yes, we have. He is with Zagat.
This is Hicksaw talking. He's like, yeah, well, all I can say is we've had an original among us for years, apparently.
Josie?
Fucking Josie.
He's an original.
She's been right under our noses all this time, and, for someone to rise to the rank that she had, the planning involved to get there. And what this means is that Viber, probably the most respected of the stalwarts, she's Viber's gal. I'm afraid I think the court is infected, completely taken over. Treefall's dead. And then you guys sort of recognize these names. These are, you don't know these people. Viber has been sort of the last 10 years the most powerful of the stalwarts on the court. Treefall is a an elf and has been sort of considered the richest, but it's hard to know. It's hard to know what that really means for a goblin stalwart. Everyone in the court is filthy rich in terms of like just spoils of years and years and years. And Hicksaw is probably the poorest and the most sort of connected to the old ways. Like he still prays to the stag, and General Hyde is definitely his guy. Yeah, there's nothing. It's like the whole market has been a farce for years. Even I didn't see it. And Hyde says, "Where is this place that you say is safe for us?"
Where did Charnak go? Oh.
Cut to.
Oh.
Yeah.
Charnak, where did Loga go? Is it safe to leave?
Oh, did you
You're still
come
a
out
nurse.
into the other room?
Yeah, they're out in the room. Yeah.
Oh no! I let the nurse.
But we
go
all
as soon
we all
as
saw
Josie
him change. So
disappears.
Yeah, true.
it's sort of like,
Okay.
and then we saw the nurse kill herself. So I was like,
Yeah.
all
I
right,
don't
well,
answer. I'm going to go over and examine this map
Okay.
and see if there's appears to be anything magical about the map itself, or if it was just a tool for whatever magic they were using.
Okay.
or if it was just a landmark for where they exit.
Yeah,
Give me
Arcana.
give me an Arcana check.
You know what?
Tell me.
Since we're getting towards the end, I still have this luck. That's an 11 Arcana check.
Okay.
I'm going to use my 1 luck point
Oh, cool.
and re-roll it. 13.
Okay.
A little better.
So I'm going to reward you for this. This feels like you're sort of examining it. There's nothing magical about what's drawn on the map. But as you move it closer to the place in the tent where it was, you sense power. But when you move your body close to that area without the map, you don't feel that same sense of power and magic. So it feels completely devoid of magic until you move it closer to this area. And because you're sort of like examining it over where they were, you kind of, as you move it around, it almost feels like magnets. Like you can feel like a pull on it.
But how do they work?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to roll up the map and put it in my robe.
Okay. All right.
My hand moves under my robe.
Okay.
Places the map there.
Kybers, I hope you've brought your reams with you. We've even just moving from one place to the next is not safe for stalwarts and commanders.
We will have to make a run for it.
But where are we going?
Dinfa knows. He took notes.
So you guys are going to bring these guys back to
We're not gonna take them to
okay.
Zagat.
We're not going to the jungle room.
No, we're not gonna
Oh,
take
we're
them to
not?
No, we're not gonna because she said not to. She said do not bring them to that room.
But we can get Zagat out of there.
Is there a way to communicate with Zagat right now?
You guys did not take the time to do. She has that ability, but you guys did not take the time to do that.
I mean, our enemies appear to have fled from us. This may be the safest place right now.
But
They
if
know
they come in,
they know
the
where
same
we
way-
are.
If they come in the same way they left, there will be no warning.
They know where we are, and they ran from us, injured.
Yes, but that does not mean they will not send back reinforcements.
Well, okay. What's your bright idea then, Eabis?
I will say that you all did learn how to communicate
Through the children.
through planes and through the children, although, you know,
Fuck.
there's no
Are
children
there any
over
children hanging out in the
Do we
jungle?
care?
room?
Do we care about Barn?
No.
Okay. Then I know what to do. Although I don't remember. Tim doesn't remember how it
Yeah.
works. But I know,
Well,
I
you
know
can just
Eabis
make it
knows
up.
how
Make it
works.
up for me, and then this will be the way that you do it.
Yeah, I'm like holding his bloody brother in my arm still. No, we don't care about him.
So you see Eabis put the candle back down on the table, sit down, close her eyes. Where the fuck is it? I'm sorry. I want to find the notes. I don't know why. I guess it doesn't matter. And she starts stroking one of her horns on the right side of her head, looking for Barn in her head.
And they're in the jungle room.
Yes, and I know they're in the jungle room. And then my finger stops stroking and my eyes open, except instead of being black, which they normally are, they're just all white.
Okay. All right.
And then you
So
hear me
now-
say,
Before you do it,
yeah,
you're now in a mental struggle with Barn.
okay.
And we're going to have basically mental battle between the two of you.
Okay.
So,
Listen, if a Kyber can't win a mental battle against this goblin,
what is your
what good are you?
what's your constitution modifier?
2.
Okay, so you got +2.
Yep.
All right.
Is
this
it, do I have
guy-
to cast Dominate Person again? Is that part of
No,
it? I forget.
no.
Okay.
This guy has a 1. So basically, you only have to defeat him 1 time. He has to defeat you 3 times. So he has a +0 modifier. You have a +2 modifier. So you both get 1 sort of gimme.
Okay.
So his best mental stat is intelligence.
Okay.
What's yours?
Charisma, which is a +3.
So you're having a contested charisma versus intelligence check. You have to win 1. He has to win 3.
Okay. So just a check.
Yep. Okay, that's a 2.
You
can do it.
I win.
Okay.
You can do
I
it.
don't even have to
Eabis.
roll.
Okay. So
14 is what I got.
So he's got so you have dominated him. You have entered his brain just for communication purposes. And he is you're tied up, and you see the giant stag walking about 20 feet ahead of you, and you do not see Zagat.
Zagat, it is Eabis.
And the stag turns its head at you and walks over to you in Barn, and you feel it say to you in your brain, "You have learned to do it. Look at you."
Yes, we need you at the K-Scat. We have Hicksaw. We have Hyde. Josie was hurt but ran. Come here or tell us where to go.
I will be there soon. I will stay and watch to see if this one survives your assault.
I hope you have learned everything you can from him.
I
See you
have learned
soon.
a great deal about him, and I have learned a great deal about you, Eabis. Thank you. This is very good.
And then I blink and my eyes are back and I just kind of shake my head because this is weird the first time.
Okay.
And just,
Okay. What's your spell save? DC?
13.
Okay. Okay. All right. So a few moments later, Zagat appears through the flaps of the room, and she comes in and she says, "Hicksaw, it's very good to see you." "Yes, it's good to see you too." And Hyde looks up at her and says, "I just can't even believe how things have fallen apart so quickly." "Great one." "Yes, I know. We will rebuild, though. We can rebuild. These are dangerous times for all of us." Yes. And she looks over at you, Eabis, and she says, "It was very nice of you to let him live, but I unfortunately did not feel as though I could allow it. So I ended him there in the jungle room. I hope that is okay with you."
That is absolutely fine.
"Hicksaw, Hyde, tell us your plans." And the two of them sort of sit down exhausted and produce healing potions from their satchels, and they hand them out. And you
Lovely.
each get two healing potions. You can use them, not use them. You can save them. General Hyde sort of gives a rundown of what happened. He says, "Yes, we were here. It was the remaining Kybers, and Josie arrived with goblins I did not recognize, and then they began to knife everybody, except they were knifing them with knives that we could not see. It was these merchant assassins who used the wand, like the one you hold there, Dinfa."
Dinfa begins looking at it and trying to get it to do what it's supposed to do.
And Zagat reaches over and sort of puts a finger and slides it down the wand, and she says, Here, there will be a button here, but you must get attuned with this wand. It is not easy to do. We will discuss this later, but for now, let's find out what Hicksaw's plans are."
All right. And stow it.
Okay, and so Hicksaw, he says, "All I can think of is there's a hotel. There's a hotel on the astral plane, and it's a place of chaos. And there is a monk who I have known for several hundred years, who thrives on chaos. I think he can help you unlock some of the old ways. And Zagat should be able to help you as well with that." And he reaches into his robes and he says, "This is how you go." And he sort of marks the map, and it is just a map of the development tent that you're in now. And he circles a bakery, and he says, "In the bakery, in the basement, there is a hole that is a well. It looks like a well. You will jump into the well. You will swim down 10, 15 feet. It is deep, but you can do it. On the south wall of the well, there is a cobble that is loose. When you pull the cobble, all who are in the water will find themselves in the astral plane. Not far. from the hotel mechanic.
Charnak from the back of the room goes, "This is the plan?"
Yes.
This whole time, I have been putting my faith in those in the hierarchy above me. To what end? To what end?
We are going to have to appeal to the chaos to combat what is happening here.
I don't know if you've noticed, but people do not find me very appealing.
This will not involve convincing people. The only thing you'll need to convince them of is that your goal is the downfall of the Goblin Market. Convince them of that and they will open your brains. They will unlock you.
Charnak, exasperated. But what is our goal?
We must take control of what's left of our Goblin Market.
But they ran from us. You are
Not forever.
you are saying that
just-
but where do they have control from? This place is empty. Is it just not 3 goblins?
We have maybe 12 Kybers left in the whole market, Dinfa. Some have gone with Josie. And some have gone with I don't know who. I would have said Viber, but I don't know. It could be the human handbeard. It could be Goldsworthy. I don't know.
Are there any other names it could be?
Those are the only ones that we can think of who have accumulated enough power and respect and control to make a play on the Goblin Market.
They're not leaving much left to play on.
The heart of the market is contract enforcement. If we allow the merchant mercantile to take over whole cloth, they're just robber barons. If we're going to reestablish the supremacy of the contract, we have to destroy the merchant mercantile. Or at least the ones that have made this assault on all that is good and all that has enriched us all.
You said we would go to the hotel mechanic.
Yes.
That is another house. Yes?
What do you mean? It's a hotel.
The name mechanic.
Yes.
Is there another hotel Giroux?
And you're asking this to
It was Hicksaw that had the plan, right?
Hicksaw, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. This is a building that follows no laws, no rules. It's in the middle of the astral plane. They take people prisoners. They sell people. They steal
We get
people.
it. You can check out anytime you like,
I'm gonna do an insight check on
but you can never leave.
do an insight check on Hicksaw.
Here I was going to say they call themselves the Continental, but they have rules at the Continental.
I got a 5 insight. Oh well.
Um,
So, well, and this
Yeah,
is
I'm-
more for
I'm-
Tim and John.
Yeah, I was digging for like the history information.
Yeah.
Just because of the Ebrox, Sheba, like the houses, like King Bodum is Giroux based on my notes.
Yeah.
Nah,
So I'm like,
Hicksaw's speaking my language here.
Yeah. That's fine.
So
we can move
I think I'm going to say, my Lord Hicksaw, I'm not sure if you understand the full scope of the situation. The planes have been tuned. The time dilation no longer exists. We have been concerned about the return of the originals. All of the originals have returned all at once.
But where are they?
They are in the astral plane. All of the ancient houses have come to wreak their vengeance. All of them.
And he thinks for a second and he says, certainly not all of them.
How many were there? I mean, maybe most of them. Some.
And he looks over at Zagat and he says, may we speak to her? And Zagat looks down and says, you want to speak to her here? Yes, I think she could risk it. And Zagat says, very well, I will give you 10 minutes. And she looks around and says, please stand back. Stand back. Eabis.
I back up.
Even further. Yes.
Charnak is already twice as far away as anyone else.
Too close. And she sort of like rocks back and forth and her eyes go white. And it takes about 3 seconds and fur sprouts everywhere on her and horns pop out of her head. And she is now, within a matter of moments, a giant stag.
Fuck me.
And she hoofs around the room a little bit and leans her head down, and Hicksaw says, great stag, we come to view, seeking knowledge of our past, our present, and our future. Can you help us? And the stag leans its head down, and Hicksaw says, yes, come, put your hands on the stag. She is willing.
I put my hands on the stag.
And
same.
I look to see what happens to them first.
nothing really happens to them. You see Solicitor General Hyde leans down and sort of goes underneath the stag and pulls a cup from his bag.
Hey now.
And begins to milk the great stag. And
well, stags are boys.
How in the hell is he doing that?
Yeah. This is a stag with all the
very
parts.
sticky kind of milk.
This is a stag
with all the parts.
This is a stag with all the parts. And you see that there is a penis there, and there are 2 nipples that he begins to tug on one at a time, and he gets about a tablespoon of milk, and he says, just a little. Here, just a little.
Who's he talking to?
To the 3 of you.
Oh, okay. So nothing appears to have happened to them touching the
No,
stag.
they're just touching the stag's like horns.
All right.
Fuck, let's give it here.
I'm going to come over and join.
Dinfa.
You got to trust someone sometime.
This is a big deal for Dinfa. He takes a sip.
Yep. How about you, Eabis?
Yeah, same.
Okay, so
Eabis has seen and communicated with the stag, moments ago in the other space. So there's like an extra layer of trust here that's like, okay, we're fine.
And as soon as the milk touches your lips, you are running through a forest and jumping over a stream. And you turn and you see humans chasing you with bows and arrows that they're firing at you, and you're ducking under them, and occasionally one hits you, and then you race and you reach a palisade, a cliff, and you bound up the cliff, and you ascend this mountain, and you look out over the mountain, and you can see a canopy of trees down below you, and you can see deep, deep, deep in the distance. And as you look past, your eyes focus in on a small black dot, and then it's like a tunnel that goes straight to the dot far in the distance. And the dot is a book. And it is a book that you have recently sold to the dwarves. You recognize it immediately. It is a book on growing crops in the wintertime. It's called Frost Seeds. And the stag is on the cover of this book. And the page is open. And there's a painting of a building that has no doors, just has swinging small wooden small sort of wooden gates that sort of open and close
like
with the
saloon?
wind. Like a saloon, yes. And you lower your horn onto the book, and when you touch the page, you're in it's weird. It's almost like there's no sun, but there's light everywhere. But it's like it's twilight here. And there are rocks floating around you. And the saloon stands right in front of your face. And on the wooden saloon doors is an engraving of a stag. And you're back in the K-Scat, you're back in the command tent, and all of you have your hand on the head of Zagat, who is in her goblin form, and the Solicitor General Hyde still has his hand upon her breasts, and he quickly pulls it away, and she says, "Just so you know, I am not the stag, but she channels through me. I didn't even know until a week ago that this was happening to me." "What was the vision she gave you?"
We could see the saloon. Perhaps the place we are supposed to be going?
"Did she reveal how to get there?"
There was a book.
"Okay.
A book that we have seen.
You have seen?"
Yes.
But I wonder if it still exists. Dinfa. What they did with those books.
They were burning them and turning them into magic scrolls. They're probably not.
Who was burning? Who was burning what? What book was it?
Frost Seeds.
A farming book.
Yes. The picture of the great stag was on the cover.
Why was a book about farming in the astral plane in an A plane?
That they did not explain.
And Hyde says, "Frostseeds, I believe I have a copy of that.
Why?
We have a library here in contract enforcement. Sometimes People need to know how to farm in various places. It is our arbitrage, as you know.
I think we need to see it.
Come. It's not in our mercantile, but we can get it. And he says, we have to go to the espionage mercantile. If it's the book we're after.
Should we...
Wait, that's where the library is?
No. That's where the door to the
Then
library
why
is.
do we have to go
I'm
there?
so sorry. It is where the door to the library is. I think we can get in without incident.
Should we
Come.
try to get our reams first?
It's a good idea.
Zagat, can you talk to Idea?
I can do it. I will have them send your reams, but none of the others. We do not want to hollow out our forces there. We still need the sweet pink.
That makes sense. Just send our main reams here.
Yes, I will do it.
Not the kid.
No, just yours. Okay, let's go. And that's where we're going to end episode 22 of the Goblin Market.
Yikes.
Hot up.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, you guys survived.
Little bit of action, little bit of espionage, a lot of information.
Yeah. Good grief.
You got to milk the you got the
One, I don't know if that qualifies as that's more of a Tom Blaylock weird out.
Exactly.
It's not quite to the level of a good old fashioned Tom Blaylock gross out.
It's why we play, Tom.
yeah,
That's why we
It
play.
really is.
yeah,
And I'm sure we'll be talking much more about it on the bonus.
yeah,
Indeed.
absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks for coming by, everybody. Come back next week for the bonus.
Awesome.
Thanks for coming
Yeah,
by.
jump onto patreon.com/Dungeon Dads if you want to hear the bonus content before this episode, after this episode, between every episode. Chat with us on Discord. We're on there all the time. And we got a whole other campaign.
Awesome.
And-
Hot stuff happening on
Yeah.
Mountain City Mayhem.
Good time.
If you're not caught up, it's time to get caught up.
That's right.
Time
Because
to
it's
get
going to
there.
get ill.
And don't forget to throw a 5-star rating or a thumbs up or whatever your podcast app lets you do to give us a
It
little
means
extra
so
love
much
there.
to us. In fact, you know what? We got to go back and start doing more of we got to start reading those things again on the episode. Give some incentive for you all to keep giving us those 5s and scribes.
5s and scribes.
Yeah. It's literally like our favorite thing.
Yeah. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for coming
Thanks
by.
for coming by.
That's where